Hi, this is John Logar. I'm just putting this short video together for the people in the foundation. I've been on a few hangouts and I've been watching a couple of the questions in relation to niche markets. And I just want to share with you how to find some great niches for idea extraction. So I've put this slide deck together with a bit of a presentation in relation to some of the things you can do to find great niche markets for your idea extraction. So essentially, one of the things that you want to take and consider is some selection criteria and ideas. Now, I know probably throughout the program that I'm sure there's going to be a lot of ideas around selecting the right markets and looking for the things that you need to do. But these are some of the criteria that I use to select niche markets for the businesses that I work with, and also for consultants that I work with around the world. So some of the selection criteria is that the businesses have 5 or more employees. They're spending money on marketing, technology, training, and etc. They're also employing new people. That tends to grow, show that there's a growth trend in the business. And at the same time, if you're employing people, then you're teaching them administration, your processes, sales process systems, integration, all that sort of stuff happens when you employ new people. So automation is a very important part of a business. I also look at the fact that the business has physical assets, an office, factory, equipment, etc. That also shows you that the business is investing in capital, investing in money in terms of growth. There's at least 2,000 plus businesses within a market. Now, there will be figures where 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 as a rough number for the viability of a market. Just to give you perspective, even on a list as small as a couple of hundred, I've generated over $150,000 worth of revenue in annualized income from small lists. So, 2,000 plus is probably a good gauge, but you'll be surprised that when you actually go into looking at the markets, you'll find that the market is in some cases much bigger than what you actually think it is. So I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. You don't need a lot of customers to make a lot of money in business. I mean, if we were looking at the SaaS model and based on all the things that Andy and Dane have been teaching at the foundation, I mean, just to give you perspective, that 100 users investing $99 per month in your product and service generates $118,000 worth of revenue per annum. So you don't really need a lot of customers out of a particular market to generate, a comfortable or a relatively good income, and that depends on your own perspective on what that is. So just also, there are lots of niches and lots of lists. One of the fastest ways that I know to look at industry trends and lists is go to publications like Marketing Magazine. In Australia, we have the BRW Fastest 100. It talks about the different businesses that are growing, that are successful. It also talks about industry trends as well. So magazines like Fast Company, Entrepreneur Magazine, Wired, Inc., all these magazines, the Entrepreneur Franchise 500 list, all these magazines and publications have a lot of industry information and trends that you can garner ideas from, and you can actually drill down and look deeper into those industries. Where can you find them? One of the fastest ways I know is Google things like the following search terms. You might want to Google things like fastest growing businesses of 2013, business trends for 2014. You might even look at industry specific groups. So you might look for printing industry trends for 2014. The reason I look for these types of searches is it just shows you what's going on within a company. And when you start searching, it starts to take you down the rabbit hole of even finding more information about a particular niche. I'm just going to share with you some Google searches in these areas just to show you what I'm talking about in relation to the lists. So I'm just going to escape out of this presentation and open up my Google file here. And if I just go to the top of the page here, if you look at Inc.com. Now, Inc.com, the 2013 5000 list. I mean, here's a classic example. They show you the name of the company, what percentage of their growth rate is in the year, the revenue of the business. It also gives you an industry category, so it kind of shows you what the industry's like, and then also the number of employees, the city and the state of where the business is at. So you've even got businesses who are, like, let's say, for example, we've got, Integrity Funding here. They're in the financial services industry. They've only got 11 employees, and they're turning over $11.1 million. So it kind of just gives you a little bit of background as to what's going on within an industry. If I look at another example here within the Inc. Magazine group, America's top 10 fastest growing private companies. So if we can find out who the fastest growing private companies are, we can actually drill down and look at the industries that those companies are in, and then look at how many other competitors there are within that market going for the same sort of market. If you look at the Inc. 500 list, I mean, a classic example is top 100 companies by revenue, top companies by gross dollar growth, top companies by the number of employees. So there's all these lists that you can garner information from. The BRW list gets a little bit specific. This is BRW, this is an Australian magazine, the BRW Fast 100 for 2013. I mean, they show you the company, they even give you the name of the CEO or the chief executive officers of the company, when they started their business, what industry they're in, their average revenue. So this business started in 2010, and within 3 years they're generating $43 million. They've had a 276% growth rate, which is quite extraordinary for a small business. But the beauty of this is you can look at this from an industry sector point of view, and then look at the other services or other competitors or other businesses that are in the same industry category, and it can kind of give you an idea of the market level in terms of the opportunity within the market. Another great list is the Entrepreneur Magazine Franchise 500. So it talks about the top 500 franchise groups within the United States. Look at the industries that those franchise groups are in, and then that will also give you an idea of some of the markets that you can go to. Fast Company is a great magazine. They've got the most innovative companies for 2013. Look at the industries that those companies are in. Anything to do with growth, positive opportunities. These types of companies are the types of people that are open to new ideas. They're open to looking at being more efficient, more effective. Perfect idea perfect companies for idea extraction. The other thing that I also search for is business trends. So in the topics, I'll type business trends 2014. And some of the things that came up are things like the Huffington Post on the key trends in sales and business development for 2014. We've also got Forbes magazine, brand and marketing trends for 2014. So it shows you what's happening in relation to marketing within industries or within industry groups over the coming year. Another great resource is the Open Forum at American Express. This is a fantastic resource. They've got literally thousands of articles, and they're constantly bringing up new articles on trends, industry growth, industry-specific statistics. It is fantastic. The other thing that I will look at when I looked at the growing trends, I'll use this website as an example, ey.com, which is essentially Ernst & Young, which is one of the largest accounting firms in the world. Here's an article they're writing on rapid technology and innovation creates a smart mobile world. But if you look at their insights, they've got insights into management, into operational effectiveness, but they've also got things like insights into industries. So the industries that Ernst & Young know a lot about and target in terms of research is things like life sciences, government, oil and gas, technology, power and utilities, telecommunications, consumer product-based businesses. So even companies or some large companies can give you fantastic inside research as to niche markets and trends within the marketplace. So just going back to our slide deck here, playing from where we are. So remember, Googling growing trends, Googling industry-specific groups. Just to give you perspective as well, once you find an area that, or a group or a niche that you think is interesting to you, you want to also drill down into that niche. Now, I'm going to use an Australian example, but I'm going to also talk about an American example as well. And in Europe, it would be the same thing as well. But an Australian example would be the Housing Industry Association of Australia. The actual website it's a very large lobby group and body within our country, and I would imagine the United States and in Europe there are also respective associations of this nature, of this size and nature as well. But the thing about this particular group is there are over 20 different subcategory niches: builders, plumbers, developers, kitchen and bathroom designers, manufacturers, suppliers, product specifiers, architects, consulting companies, interior designers, etc., etc. There's all these small niches within these particular groups that you can drill down to and actually search into. To give you perspective on this from a plastic surgery point of view, in the greater Los Angeles area, there are over 600 registered plastic surgeons. In Phoenix, Arizona, I think there are over 300 to 600, or 300 to 500 registered plastic surgeons in Phoenix and Arizona. Each of these groups, in fact, in the plastic surgery community in the United States, there are 6 different association groups. And when you go to visit their websites, it'll actually give you the name of the plastic surgeon, the address, their email, their phone number in some respects. I found plastic surgery websites in the US that have all the details of the people you want to extract ideas from, if that was a particular niche that you were going after. And for example, just to give you the perspective from the Australian market's point of view, just in Melbourne, in the southern part of Australia, which is a population of about 4 million people, there are over 280 registered plastic surgeons in Melbourne. There are 400 odd plastic surgeons in Sydney. There are 250 odd plastic surgeons in Brisbane. So there's over 1,000 plastic surgeons just in 3 cities in Australia. But in the United States, there are literally tens of thousands of plastic surgeons in the United States. So it's a very large niche. And then not only from that niche, you can even drill down even further. You can look at the companies that are supplying the plastic surgery industry alone. Could be a niche that you can go after. So there's no shortage of niches, and there's certainly no shortage of where you can look, and certainly how you can identify those niches within the market. The next one is pick a few and start researching. Check out the niche industry associations. Like, for example, I just talked about the plastic surgeons. There just in the Los Angeles County alone, there are 4 different plastic surgeon association groups, just in Los Angeles, and these are individual chapters, let alone what is available on a national level in the United States. And the same thing would be said for Europe and the UK and for Australia as well. But you want to check out the industry associations. You want to look at how many members they've got. Some associations have, 5,000-6,000 members. Some associations have 1,000 members. But if an association has 1,000 members, there would be probably another 60 to 70% of that member group that aren't members of that association. Some associations require you, from a legal compliance perspective, that you must be a member to be accredited within an industry body. So, medical associations, pharmaceutical associations, accredited bodies require um, uh, um, membership so that people can actually practice within their field. The accountants associations, the CPA of America, the CPA of Australia and UK, all are accredited associations that people who are operating in their professional field must be a member of. So they literally have sometimes tens of thousands or 5,000 members. So this is an interesting industry category group. How active are they? Are they innovative? Are they constantly updating their information to their members? What sort of information are they updating on? Are they talking about potential idea extraction problems that you can relate to in the market? Do they hold conferences, events that you can go and talk to the market or extract ideas from? There are many associations that hold public events, trade shows, seminars, weekly chapters, monthly chapters. You can literally go along as a non-member in some respects. I've even gone to the Plastic Surgeons Association conference here in Australia as a non-member. I'm not a plastic surgeon, but I rang the industry association, called the president up and say, look, I'm really interested in finding out about what you guys are doing. Is it okay if I come along as a non-member to the conference? And the president said, yeah, sure, you can come, more than welcome, and make sure that you connect with me and come along and we can talk about some of the things that are going on in the industry. And so that opened the door up to me to working with plastic surgeons in Australia. So you can go to events. You don't have to be a member of the association to attend an event. There are many member associations that allow non-members to actually come along. You end up paying 10 or 15 or 20% more than what a member would pay to attend that function. But it's a great way of networking with a specific industry group. The next thing that you want to do is, look at their industry journals and publications. Just Google if they've got a publication. Most of the associations will have a blog. Most associations have a published journal that they run, or a newsletter that they run. You can garner information and research from these types of papers, or some associations also have white papers as well. So you can see what sort of trends there are. This sort of research, literally, in terms of drilling down within a market, I could research a market, look at the potential and viability literally within half an hour. You can literally tell that quickly as to how viable a particular market is. Action steps. Look, pick a few markets and do a little homework. Check if you know someone in the industry. Is there someone that you know who has a connection in the industry? If you don't know someone in the industry that might be able to introduce you to just go through and have an initial conversation with even perhaps the potential of an idea extraction, where you can expose yourself to that particular market. Engage phone, email, social media, networking, whichever way you can. I mean, the key here is to be consistent in connecting with your market so that you open the opportunity to finding out and extracting for those ideas. My goal for me personally is to try and make at least 1 to 2 extraction calls per day to see where it may lead me. It might be something that you'd like to follow. When I say I make 1 to 2 extraction phone calls per day, that means I'm physically engaging somebody in an extraction call. That's not me making 20 calls or one phone call and just seeing if I can or can't. I'm physically making that determination to actually connect with one person, to extract an idea, to practice my techniques, to ask questions, to find out what's going on. And it's amazing that if you listen to the information in the foundation, I think Dane and Andy introduced the concept of green glasses, opportunities everywhere. It is amazing how many times through the idea extraction calls that I have personally done where an idea, an opportunity has come up to provide a service or to help businesses out as well. So keep an eye out or keep an ear out for things that people bring up within an idea extraction process. I mean, I know if Sam Ovens went into the website building business as part of his opportunity to fund his operations, but I would imagine that he's probably generated websites for some of the people that he did idea extraction phone calls. So you never know what can come out of an idea extraction, but my focus is for me, and it might be worthwhile something for yourself to consider, is to actually physically engage and make 1 to 2 extraction calls per day. With that, he who aims at nothing hits it with remarkable accuracy. One of my vernaculars, and I also run a company called Make Everyday Payday. One of the things that I believe or have come to understand with the SaaS business model is that you can make every day a payday. If you need any information or you want to contact me, feel free to contact me on Skype or feel free to email me at johnlogar@gmail.com. I hope this gives you a few ideas on targeting niche markets or finding information about niche markets. Remember, it doesn't take a lot of users in a software business to provide you with a fantastic income. So don't get hung up on how big or how small or how commercially viable a particular market is. I've found that when I'm talking to people, you'd be amazed at the doors and the ideas and the opportunities that come from that. I hope you get a lot out of this presentation, or I hope it does give you some form of clarity or direction. I'm really enjoying the foundation experience. So thanks to all the people who are in the back end and to Andy and Dane. I look forward to hearing any feedback you like from this particular video. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching.